Oh, that was weak. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Chilling with Dylan is back, episode 9, and we are here to attack. I have a very special guest with me today, a former teammate of mine from high school and a former classmate because we went to just about the same school our whole lives.
Yeah.
A true 702 legend, a true genuine brother through and through. My guy, AP, Alex Perry. It is an absolute honor today for you to come through.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the introduction too, man. I love it.
Of course, you know what I'm saying. Got to be great for a great brother like yourself.
Appreciate that.
So to get right to it. Now, you made quite the impact coming up playing football. How old were you when you first started playing football?
When I first started playing ball, man, I was 5. Like about 5 years old, and
Okay.
growing up with older brothers, I played up with my brother Armand. So I played up with him when I was 5 years old, and I was the mud of the team, bro. I was the worst, smallest player, getting abused every practice. Like never got in the game. Dad was the coach. I still never played. You know, 'cause I was playing up. I was playing up, bro. I never got any PT. So I was a young boy, man. It started when I was young. When I was young.
well, knowing a bit about your family history, but for those who don't, your father Dr. Archie Perry, was a defensive back in his day at Bishop Gorman. Your oldest brother Trey played tight end at Bishop Gorman, and then your older brother Armand, who was the first upperclassman I got to meet, and it was all love from the jump. He
Mhm.
played defensive back as well. Now, coming from that type of pedigree, did you always know that playing football at Bishop Gorman and also playing defensive back was going to be in your future?
I knew that playing sports was for sure in my future. That's just how we were raised. Sports. We're a sports family. Playing football, probably, yeah, was leaning more towards football because everybody above me played football. But Gorman, I didn't know if I wanted to even go to Gorman at the time, man. I was at Faith before, and I was really thinking about staying there and playing ball at Faith for high school. But, it was either stay at Faith and go absolutely crazy,
Yeah.
or what it seemed like go to Gorman and, have to really, really work for, just to get a spot on the team. But it ended up working out.
And I,
So
I,
yeah.
I want to put out there for the folks like he's being incredibly modest because this guy was on varsity as a freshman. So, and
Man,
this was at the apex of Gorman. So, like, I appreciate the modesty, but man, you were a dog. You were a dog.
man, appreciate it, man.
It was an absolute joy watching you up close. But being the youngest brother, right? Because I'm the oldest in my family, but being the
Okay.
youngest and having to prove your feel like you got to prove your worth. You
Yeah.
got to work hard. Um, how competitive was your household growing up, and
Oh
what
my goodness.
what were the lessons that your brothers imparted upon
Oh, it was we're competing over who's pouring the cereal first. Like we're competing over everything. Like competitive house every day we're competing about something. And being the younger one, it's easy to, I wouldn't say get bullied, but you're the youngest sibling. Like they're naturally gonna bully you a little bit. So it was on me to kind of create this edge for myself. Like, you know what, I'm going to compete with whoever. I don't care how old they are. We're going to compete, and I'm gonna have a voice for myself. But yeah, growing up in that household was very competitive with anything. And we played all sports, so it just wasn't football. It was like my first sport was hockey, and then we
really?
moved from Minnesota. We moved from Minnesota to Vegas. Nobody played hockey.
I
So
can
then
imagine.
my pops signed us up for football the day we got out here, and they were just like, "All right, I guess football's it now. Like, I guess we're playing football." So the competitive nature was that was everything in the household.
And it makes sense. No, just knowing you, knowing Armand. I've briefly interacted with your oldest brother, I could tell you guys just that competitiveness it's
It's there. Yeah, it's there for sure.
so you mentioned Minnesota because when I was doing a little research, I found that your dad got his orthopedic surgery training in Rochester, Minnesota, and I was like,
Hmm.
that's quite ironic because I'm living in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that connect. You mentioned that you played hockey in Minnesota.
Hmm.
Do you still have a connection to Minnesota? Is that a place that you ever go back to, or
I haven't went back, but I still like when I think of my earliest memories of being a child, it takes me to Minnesota. Because I was born in Vegas, but as soon as I was born, we moved to Minnesota so my father could finish, all his requirements to become a doctor. So my earliest memories are in, Rochester and Minneapolis, playing hockey, going to the outdoor hockey rink and playing with my dad and my brothers. And so those are the earliest memories, but I have not went back and I really want to because it's a beautiful place, man. It's super beautiful. And I'm glad to see that, Vegas is starting to become a little sports hub and in particular hockey hub. We
yeah?
got one of the nicest hockey teams out here now. I just wish when I moved here we would have been a hockey hub because I would have, yeah, I for sure would have stayed with it.
Okay,
But yeah, my earliest memories bring me back to Minnesota. It's a lovely place. So that place always has my heart.
that's the like I when I was reading that I was like Minnesota. Like I thought you were like 702 Vegas
Uh,
all the way through, but that's cool. I would have never. I really would have never known that. So that's dope.
yeah, man, that's one of my hometowns for sure. So yeah, shout out Minnesota for sure.
Shout out. I did a project when I was in fifth grade, and I got the top grade in the class. And I brought Swedish meatballs that I made. It,
Yep,
I had a ball with that, and it was funny.
yep,
My teacher, she was you went to Givens. Them teachers would be hated, hated.
bro,
I was in gate too, and
bro.
she was not trying to let me do the state fair because I got in trouble. But
Yeah.
my mom was like, "Oh no, he's worked night and day on this project.
Yeah,
He's going to be."
yeah, he's going to present this.
Yep. So, um, but a little bit back to your parents because your parents are truly like hats off to them, and I've always said
Yeah.
they are a great shining example for other,
Hmm.
especially other young Black people to look at as
Yeah.
just as a benchmark of success. Your father is a successful orthopedic spinal surgeon.
Hmm.
Mother, Miss Tasha, is a successful flight attendant, trademark attorney, and a published author. My mom actually bought and supported one of her books.
Good. Yep. Shout out to your mom.
Hey, look, it's all love. My mom and Miss Tasha, they I know they have a great rapport.
Yep.
But coming up in a household like that, where you have two very successful and educated parents, how important was the value of education when you were growing up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, education was super important in my family, because that's what my dad used is his education and his smartness to elevate himself compared to his peers, because my grandparents, my dad's grandparents, they didn't even go to high school. Like they stopped, yeah, they stopped at middle school. My grandfather was a bricklayer, and my grandma used to she worked at the Flamingo for like 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then from what my dad did to going to Gorman and going to universities and going to Mayo Clinic and being the top of his class for everything, he really ingrained it into our brain that being smart and educated will help you get to where you want to be.
100%.
So it was things like, everybody at the dinner table sitting down doing homework at the same time, and nobody, you can't leave the table until he checks that every assignment is being done. And of course we used to manipulate it a little bit, but overall it was there, man, especially from my mother too. She's, kind of ingraining the same thing into our head. Like if you guys want to get to where you want to be successful, you have to educate yourself on certain things, especially in this world. So, and we're at schools like Gorman where our parents are paying a large amount of money. So it'd be super ignorant to, have your parents busting their tail and spending money on this education. You're not even taking advantage of it. So yeah, education was a big topic in my household, to strive.
For sure, man. I mean, and look at where you're at now as a result of that foundation. So
Hmm.
hats off to your mom and your pops for
Yeah.
laying that early. Uh,
Hmm.
when you got to Bishop Gorman, as previously mentioned, you were one of the few freshmen that were automatically on varsity. And at the time, your older brother Armand was there, and he
Hmm.
was a huge leader in the defensive secondary. He was somebody
Yeah.
a lot of people looked to as a leader on the team.
Hmm.
What was that experience like playing alongside your brother?
Man, it's like it's every brother's dream, honestly. Like I think is to be able to compete in a sport with your own sibling. So you know, once he told me, because I played running back, and he was like, all right, once you get to Gorman, man, I guarantee you're gonna play defense. I'm like, bro, I'm not playing defense. Like I don't like hitting people. I don't like banging head. I don't like doing none of that stuff. And then freshman year, he was right. I moved to DB, and he taught me everything. Like everything that I knew from playing cornerback was from him because nobody taught him. So he had to really, go to so many camps and learn from so many coaches. And then luckily, all I got to do is ask him. But he has, he got resource from everybody, from top coaches. So having him in my corner and teaching me techniques and how to move and how to talk and everything was for sure a blessing and for sure kind of put me one step ahead of my peers who unfortunately didn't have any older siblings or older mentors to, talk to that's already been through the whole process as well. So I kind of got to piggyback off of him a lot and, take everything in and use it for my own self.
That's a blessing to have someone pay it forward, so
Yeah,
you can reap the reward.
exactly.
You yeah, because that's actually was gonna my next question. I do remember and recall that you were a running back.
Hmm.
So at any point, with your brother obviously saying like defense is gonna be a thing, did you ever though in your mind like when before going into it be like, yeah, I'm gonna be running back. I'm a
Oh
any
yeah, for sure, bro. Like I grew up watching like people like DeMarco Murray.
shout
Like
out
he went to Gorman, yeah,
the legend.
monster.
Yeah.
Like Reggie Bush.
Oh, my guy.
Like I had the Reggie Bush fat head. Remember when the fat heads came out? I had
What?
the Reggie Bush fat head. Jersey number 5. I had the Reggie Bush shoes.
Yo,
I
oh
wanted
my
my
gosh.
whole steez to look like Reggie Bush. Like I wanted nothing to do with defense at all. Like I just like to get the ball and score touchdowns like that. That simplifies the game for me a lot. Like all I have to do is grab this football and get into the end zone. I can do that.
Right.
And I never wanted to hit nobody so bad that it helped because I'm like, I'm not gonna let nobody hit me. I don't like the way it feels. So I'm playing running back and nobody's gonna touch me. But yeah, I never in a million years I thought I would have played corner like ever
I feel
at
that.
all.
With that foundation of having the explosiveness, the agility, the ability to make cuts and bounds, do you feel like that helped when you were really training yourself to become a defensive back? Because I mean, switching positions in high school, that's a big jump.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it for sure helped. It for sure helped because like I'm gonna keep referring back to my older siblings because I was the younger kid that was just by them all
Yeah.
the time. So if they're going to weight training, I'm right there as a little kid, not throwing up the same weight, but I'm learning techniques and the mechanics of everything. So by the time I did get to high school, I was already there. But learning stuff from running back for sure um, helped me when I moved to corner. because at the end of the day, you have to be athletic to play any position.
Oh, 100%.
So if you have that athleticism, but now with corner and running back corner, you got to learn different techniques. You got to think differently. You got to read stuff differently. But the athletic side of it, playing running back, I would say most definitely helps, when I switch positions.
For sure. Now, I remember in watching your brother. Your brother was one of the hardest hitters. He was like the safety that would play back in the box, just waiting for somebody.
Yeah.
But he could play the center field. He
For
could
sure.
those interceptions. But I remember you would stick to people like glue. They couldn't get past you. They weren't going to go over the top of you. Now, obviously, I know your brother Armand was a big inspiration, a big influence.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any other corners or defensive backs that you looked at and modeled some of your game after?
So yeah, I mean, Armand was for sure number one. Just following him to football camps and everything, I learned so much just from the visual side of stuff. And then, other players like Jalil Wadu was a good friend of mine, who was a good friend of my brother. He played at UCLA.
Yeah, I remember him.
Modeled my game after him a little because he had some dogness to him, and he was more on the shorter side, same as me, compared to all the other athletes on the field. So him for sure. Who can I think of in the league? I would say like people like Champ Bailey, like.
Ooh, that's a great name.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody who was the best at that position, I like to model my game after. Honestly.
It's a good recipe for success.
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. Now, being that you were the youngest in the second, and then coming to sophomore year, you're getting a lot more reps out there. I remember seeing you would get like different rotations within the dime packages, the nickel packages, and you were the youngest, right? Do you feel like being battle tested early and knowing that quarterbacks was like, that's the young one, I'm gonna throw his way? Do you feel like that made you prepared when you became a junior and senior, and you really were carving a name for yourself?
Oh, most definitely. I think being young taught me about preparation. Because being one of the youngest players on the field, like you have to have some type of advantage in some aspect. You're not going to be the biggest on the field. You're not going to be the strongest. You're not going to be the fastest. So my whole thought process is if I can't be any of those things, I at least have to be the most tapped in mentally. You know what I'm saying? I have to know my playbooks. I got to know the offenses, how they line up and how they read stuff and who they like to go to, and if the receivers lined up like this, how I should play the leverage. And so I just made sure that I was the most tapped in mentally, because these football players, I had a guard who's 6'5", running 4.3s, and I'm like, oh my God, bro. There were so many times where like my teammates, my older class teammates, like, yo, you got the number one receiver in the nation this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know that. I've been thinking about it all week. And like, he's 6'4", he runs a 4.4, and I'm like, yeah, bro, you ain't gotta keep telling me. I know.
Right.
But then I really took it to myself to, be sharp mentally on the field, because that will take you farther than bigger, faster, stronger. If you're tapped in mentally and, really studying everything, then you should be fine on the field.
100%. Preparation gets you geared towards success, and yeah, you were living proof of that. You got your first interception of your Gorman career versus Durango. I don't know how far you remember that. I remember being at that game though. I said, "Let's go, AP, let's go."
Was this my freshman year?
No, sophomore year.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it was the homecoming game, but I know like it was a game like the coaches was like, "Go out there." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Young man, get your reps in. And so I remember being like, hey, let's go, AP. I got class with him,
Yeah.
What is the feeling like, to get an interception as a defensive back? You know what I'm saying? For people who never played football, or people who did and never got one, you know, like what's that feeling like?
Man, it's just like it's euphoric, honestly, because you did everything right in that play.
Right.
Like the play, when they're calling the play, they're not designing it to throw it to the corner. So you know that if you're playing a position where you gotta guard somebody going backwards and then beat them to the spot that they're trying to go to, and then you pick the ball off, and not only pick it off, you might take it for 6. You like, damn, I had a perfect play. Like the play was perfect. I did everything I could do. Like I did my job correctly, and that feeling is euphoric, you know. And in high school, you're really thinking about getting scholarships. So if I get an interception, that's one step closer to me getting a scholarship.
Right.
So that's kind of how I thought about it.
No, that's I couldn't have put it any perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, that's dope though. Now, you were able to be part of 2 teams that won state championships. So coming into junior year, now you're the unquestioned number 1 corner. You're one of the leaders of the defensive unit. You're somebody that guys are looking to for leadership, inspiration. What was the difference in your mental and physical preparation for that junior year after coming off from your first 2 seasons?
Yeah, kind of like what you just said. Like now I'm considered a more upperclassman. I'm not the youngest kid. I'm not the baby on the team anymore. So you kind of have to take that leadership role because now the younger classmen are looking up to me, for advice and questions, how to take care of business, how to move, how to talk, how to do all this. So, and it's so easy to talk about it, but if you're not showing it to them, it's a whole different ball game. So I kind of made it important to me to not only talk it, but walk it in a sense. It felt like more of a business once you got older in it. Like rather than I'm just out here having fun. Like it's more of a business. Like okay, if I really take care of this stuff, I can get a scholarship. I can go to college for free. I can take that financial burden off of my parents having to come out the pocket for me to go to college. So it kind of junior year was like, all right, Alex, this is the year. Because in sports, junior year is the year where scholarships start coming in.
100%.
Start talking to coaches a lot more. So that was the year for me mentally. It was like, all right, like this is the year where scholars are going to be coming in. I'm going to start talking to coaches. I got to carry myself in kind of a, more mature manner rather than being the freshman and sophomore on the team.
For sure. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget this game. Opening week, junior year, we played Chandler, and you get tasked. You talked about receivers that are tall, run fast, that can jump, and you get matched up with an eventual first-round pick from the 2019 draft, N'Keal Harry. That was a talk of like, who's gonna do what, who's shutting down who's gonna, Now, with that game, did that preparation that you took and approach to the game, do you feel like that was the key ingredient to the result? And then also, did you know that you two would eventually become teammates in college, albeit I know very briefly?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, I mean, I knew. Shout out to N'Keal too. He's a beast. He's a monster. Even when I play with him at ASU, that it translated to college. He's a beast. But I knew he was bigger, faster, stronger than me. Like off the rip. Like you can look at a photo and like, okay, he's a specimen.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to, like I said earlier, I had to mentally be more tapped in than I think he would be. Not saying he wasn't, but I had to convince myself I was more tapped in than him. Meaning, okay, it's all about learning somebody's habits. Okay, if this guy lines up right here, 85% of the time, he releases out. And when he does get an outside release, 75% of the time, he's doing a comeback or a curl.
Yeah.
So it's literally while you're on the field, you have to be thinking about that, but stuff is happening so fast. And and shout out to my teammates too, man. They helped me get prepared for this. If I didn't have D linemen like Fredo and Haskell getting to the quarterback,
Yeah, shout out to them.
making it easier for me. If I didn't have linebackers like Farrell and EA and Ecom that are making sure the middle of the football field is on lock, and then if I didn't have safeties like Bubba and Greg over the top, knowing that they're going to be over the top no matter what, all that stuff kind of just gave me more confidence to play my game. So it was an individual task that I had to do, but as the collective, they made it 100 times more easier for me to do that. And then to answer your second question, I had no clue. I didn't know I was going to be teammates. I didn't know where I was going to college. I'm going to be honest. I had no idea. I just damn near knew I'm just going to go wherever my mom goes. That's all I've ever did.
Hey, you made it happen. You mentioned some dogs, you mentioned some names that played a big role, but this particular year, in the new responsibility of now you're the number one corner, people are going to try you a little bit more, but still, think a little twice, but still try you. You achieved your career high in high school with 3 interceptions. Now, you as a defensive back, again, having watched you up close, you were a shutdown guy. Guys aren't going to get around you. You're step for step with them. But you also like to hit. Like you mentioned before how you don't really like to hit. But I remember countless, and I was rewatching some of like the highlights from them, and I was like, AP liked to hit a lot more. That man liked to hit. What personally is your favorite? What was your favorite statistic to get?
My honest favorite statistic to get was the W at the end of the game. I promise you. Like it might sound corny, but like
a great answer.
If we win the game, I did my job.
Right.
Like honestly, like of course I don't want to get cooked for 3 tubs. Nobody wants to. But if at the end of the game, when the time's up and we have more points than them, I was more than happy. Like that's all I cared about. Honestly, was getting a dub. Like. The interceptions and the pass breakups and the tackles, that stuff is all cute. But like, did you guys win? Did you win the game? That was my favorite stat, bro. That's why we were who we were, because we would just win. We didn't really care about stats. We didn't care about none of this stuff. 3 picks is not a lot of picks for a season at all. But then you have to take into account I wasn't even playing this, like the second half of our season, we were out by the second quarter.
Exactly. That's why that's what makes it even crazier, is that like if they had let you play like all the way through the games, your stats would have been filthy.
But I think about it all the time, but like I'm not a real stat. I don't care about the stats, honestly. Like there's probably games where I probably didn't record 1 stat. And as a corner, that might be a good thing, because this side is not it's on lockdown. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about it. But that's just the difference from moving to running back to the corner, because running back you're trying to stat it up. You're trying to. I want 30 carries, 4 touchdowns, 250 yards. You want to be the man. Then you move to corner, which is you have to be very selfless. You might not get a stat. You might not get a pick. You might not even get a tackle. But just take care of what you got to take care of, and just worry about do we get the win or the loss at the end of the game. That's all that matters.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Your numbers was pretty rough.
That was cool. That was solid. It was solid, a little solid.
I wish high school AP could meet you right now.
Man, humble pie.
Because man, not saying you cocky, but you just always had that aura of confidence that was unshaken.
You had to. That comes with football a little bit. Yeah. Like you have to move in a certain type of way, especially at corner, because like I really feel it's the hardest position out of any sport. I'm gonna be honest.
Agree as well.
And if you're not thinking that you're the best on and off the field, it's gonna affect your performance. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. It starts with the mentality of it.
Now it's you got the calm, like
I gotta chill out, bro. I gotta chill. I gotta relax. Now, I have to chill.
So now senior season comes around. Now you're finally the captain. Because honestly, the fact that you weren't a captain as a junior after you had been on varsity since a freshman, that's crazy. I mean, I, I don't know
Nah,
who
no,
did the
yeah.
voting, but you finally get that. You get that C status on your jersey. You're the captain. Now
Lit.
you're the leader. You're somebody that people are directly looking to for that guidance, for that inspiration. How did it feel in the moment to finally get to that point?
I mean, it was a good feeling for sure. Like I've always looked at being a captain as just being a representative for what this team really stands for. Not like, oh, I'm the team captain. I can tell whoever what. I'm the captain of the team doing it. It's just like, no, like I'm just gonna represent myself as what every person on this team is about, and that's just having a dog mentality and ending up with the W at the end of the game. So, I know being a captain, it had a lot of responsibility because there were times where I had my times, getting fights and crashing out on the field, and everybody's looking at me like, "Damn, that's your captain!" Like, damn, like, what is his deal? So it kind of gave you a sense of responsibility, you know. But it couldn't have done it with it's all about the team at the end of the day. Whatever the team needed and wanted,
For,
that's what it's all about.
for sure. But I mean, look, you having older brothers, you never back down to nothing. I remember that was one thing about you. You never back down from nobody. So
Yeah,
that's
bro.
a captain. You do want to have a captain that you feel like we're going into war. I trust that he's
That's
not going
how we
to.
looked at it. That's what I'm saying. That's how we looked at it, bro. We're going into war. Let's fight.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to. I don't like. I don't like if I have to get you guys hyped to get ready for war. We already lost. Like everybody on that team was a captain. Honestly, everybody hold themselves like a captain. We didn't really have to hold anybody accountable. Like it was just we all had the same mindset. Let's get the dub and remain undefeated. Let's be the best.
For sure, for sure. I mean, look, there was a lot of winning that was going on. And I remember that senior year. Now you had reached that status where it's like, okay, I'm not throwing to his side of the field. That's Perry Island. We ain't throwing the ball over here. We'll throw over here. We'll throw over the top. Maybe go for the check down. How did it feel to get that shutdown cornerback respect?
I mean, it felt pretty good. I know, like that's what every quarter wants to get to at a certain point. Like they want to be every corner wants to be a shutdown corner. So by the time I was a senior, like I was so ready to get to college and like just to see what that's all about because like this stuff was getting easy to me at this point. Like I wanted more of a challenge, and then when I got to college, challenge,
Yeah,
challenge accepted. But earning that status that just comes from putting in work.
right.
Like honestly, and then the more work you put in, the more confidence you can play with. So that all came from growing up. Starting football when I was 5 all the way up to practicing against people like Speedy and Dorian and Stoy and Tyjon every day. So, going against guys like that every day, by the time I got to game day, I'm like, yo, this is cake. Like,
Right.
I'm going against people that are in the league that are nice. And then now I'm playing on game day. I'm like, oh, this is nothing. This is nothing.
You know, it's a walk in the park.
This is a walk in the park, bro.
Now a game that I remember that was not a walk in the park. That St. Thomas Aquinas game. We won 25-24. Bubba had the field goal block that was heard around the block, that was heard around everywhere. And you drew the assignment of covering Trayvon Grimes, who at the time was a 5-star receiver, number one in the class, and like just one of the top overall prospects of our year. And you held him in check most of that game before he sustained an injury. But
Mhm.
what about that game do you remember most?
Man, I just remember I just remember that, like, it was gonna be a fight. Like, I remember because at the time I think they had the most players with D1 scholarships, so they were blowing that up. Like, this team has 30 people with like their twos had scholarships to Florida and all type of crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, bro, we're like, at the end of the day, this game is gonna this game, it's a fight, and like, are we gonna lose the fight? We can't lose the fight.
Okay.
So I knew if I could fight Trayvon Grimes all game. If I could fight him at the line, because he's big, fast, strong. That's what I'm saying. He's bigger, faster, stronger. Every time. But if I just knew if I could fight him at the line and try to, tap into his mentals a little bit, we're gonna win the battle, bro. And we did at the end of the day. So
Yeah, that was a moment right there. Adrenaline was on 1,000. As soon as Bubba
oh
had,
my god. My adrenaline was on 1,000 when it was fourth down and Speedy got the tub.
yeah, oh my gosh, that
I'm like,
was
what? That's when I knew we were gonna win the game. I'm gonna be honest. After he got the tub, and then the field goal. I was just like, there's no way we're gonna lose by this field goal. Like, there's no way.
yeah.
And then I just see Bubba just creep back and creep up, jumped over a dude. His play was illegal, by the way.
I know.
Jumped over the dude. We ain't gonna talk about that. Jumped over the dude, blocked it. I'm like, bro, you're the coldest. You're the coldest to ever do it, ever.
No, that was a moment. Now, speaking of guys like Bubba, so your older brother Armand, back in the day with Dajay Stewart, who played corner and running back, shout out to Dajay, and I believe Terrence Chambers as well, played corner receiver. He held it down for me first over at BGTV before I was able to come through. But y'all, the three of them had started a collective for the mostly black athletes at Bishop Gorman called Cold Black Athletics, and it was comprised of the names I mentioned and guys like Nate Starks, Malik Hausman, Austin Tyjon, Buki Cordell, and then guys from even other schools like Demario Richards, Shea Fields, Jaleel Wadood. And you guys did a lot to give back to the community with football camps and different youth events.
Yeah.
Being in school at that time, was it frustrating to have Gorman be so quick to try to stigmatize and label you guys as a gang just because it's a group of young black guys coming together and trying to empower one another?
I mean, yeah, man. I just look at it like anytime a group of black people come together for empowerment, it's always going to raise a red flag. They don't. It's always going to raise a red flag. So when we got together and like, we all play sports, we're all smart.
Yeah.
We're all, educated. Why don't we just empower ourselves? Why don't we just create a group, Cold Black Athletics, where we're just empowering ourselves? We're going to market ourselves. We're going to, let the world know there's a group out there now in Las Vegas, Nevada, where people are not thinking that are there even sports out here? Like, can people even live there? You know what I'm saying? So it was a frustrating thing, man, especially like, getting called in and saying like, if you guys don't take some stuff off the internet, y'all won't play here anymore. And nowadays you see people that everything's on the internet, with people like athletes, especially. Now they're posting everything.
Yeah.
But back then when we would try to post and, try to do something outside of sports, they're like, oh, hell no. Like, what are y'all trying to do?
Absolutely not.
And then you try to explain like, yo, we're just a collective group of kids that, just want to make it at the end of the day. And then when they label you as, okay, you guys are a gang, it's just, I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People act surprised, like, oh my God, why would they? Just look at history. Look at history when people get together for the greater good, and look what happens to them. So I wasn't surprised by it. I was kind of surprised that like, damn, at our own school, like we're trying to put the school on the map. Like, and we're the best players on the team. Like, I would think y'all would like what's going on. You feel me? But it is what it is, man. You live and you learn. So a part of me was, like, oh my God, I can't believe they do this, and the other part of me was like, bro, what did you expect?
Right.
You're at a Catholic school.
Yeah.
You're black. What did you think was gonna happen? Like, come on. So it is what it is, bro.
For sure. For sure. Now, is CBA still active, and are you still very much involved?
I mean, we're not athletes no more. Nobody's. You feel me? Like, we're old now. Some of us is 30. We still talk to each other for sure. So like, shout out to I learned a lot from these guys, the Terrence and Dajay and Armand. Like, I've learned damn near my whole football playing styles from these guys. I grew up watching these guys, and like I said, when I was the youngest on the team, I'm watching these dudes cook, like cook. So I modeled everything after these guys, but we're older now, man. That was like while we're in school playing football together kind of deal, But now everybody's older, got families, kind of doing their own thing. So it's not necessarily CBA athletics,
Yeah.
but we're still keeping in touch with each other.
I feel that. I feel that. Now, I don't know if I ever told you, but our from junior to senior year, I tried to start a Black Student Union at Gorman, and it was going to be with Mr. Nixon as the advisor, like the teacher supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And I had set everything up. I'd gotten different professors, intellectuals, community leaders that I worked with, and I really, had a genuine vision,
Yeah.
to build something for the greater good. And after much deliberation, after many essays and papers that I had to write, they told Mr. Nixon that the only way that it could be had is if I wasn't a part of it, because I was a quote unquote future domestic terrorist in the making, seeking to start an insurrection. Which, on one hand, it broke my heart because I wanted to leave
Of
a
course.
legacy. I saw what you guys were doing with CBA, and I wanted to, from a scholastic and from a socio-political aspect, I wanted to leave a mark with
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But then on the other hand, I was like, yeah, I'm bad. They fear
Yeah.
they can't stop me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I'm bad to the bone.
Yeah.
You know, but how important, right? When you're in an environment like a Bishop Gorman, where predominantly white, very wealthy, and you have a lot of people who are very tone deaf and out of touch. And I mean, I'm rocking the merch, but I got to keep it truthful. I know they're trying, but there's a lot of work that they could do. But how important is it to have a black organization like that to give you to give you that kind of support and give you that kind of you know people who are also going through what you're going through.
I think it's very important. I think it's important because it's letting people know that you are not alone in this environment. Like, it's a fact. We're the minority.
Yeah.
It's a fact. There's less of my colored culture than the majority.
Yeah.
So I know there's people out there that's like that think they're alone because they're in the minority. But like I was saying earlier, when you can come when you can come as a collective for the greater good, especially minority, it can get scary. It can get very scary very fast. So I think it's very important. I think that I think a lot of people agree with me. That's what got them to success, was having a support system around them
Right.
that came from the same background, same culture. Not saying you should just limit yourself into this,
Right.
because at the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Right.
At the end of the day, and you'll miss out on opportunities thinking that you just have to be enclosed on what your
Right.
culture does and how your culture acts and how you think you're supposed to move.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, on the flip side of it, it is important to let people that look like you know, like, yo, you're not alone. I've been through this situation before. This is how it could play out, and just to be, just to teach people, especially if you already been through something and you see that somebody else is going through it. So when you know you have a good support system, I think that that could for sure contribute to success.
For sure, for sure. I mean, and you mentioned things get a little hectic, pressure
Hmm.
getting hot. Now, that same season, senior year, as you very much recall, I was nearly expelled. I was not expelled, but I was nearly expelled for protesting the anthem during the Veterans Day Assembly. Now, that was the final straw of many Campbell's back. So at that point, they were like, "All right, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're gone." They tried, and I do want to put this out for the world. But you and Bubba and several other players were planning originally to protest during the state championship in solidarity with me, and I always want to say much love to y'all, truly, always, because that's real, that's genuine, and I really do appreciate y'all.
100%, bro. I couldn't believe it, honestly. Like I could not believe, I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, and there's nobody that was gonna say anything on your behalf. And like for somebody to get asked to leave the school because of his belief, and it's not even harming anybody. You're not physically doing anything to anybody. This is just kind of what you believe in, and how the society was going. It's crazy, So for the school to ask you to leave for that was unbelievable. And then we had a meeting saying like, if anybody, I was gonna take a knee. When everybody was kneeling and
Yep.
pledge allegiance, take a knee. You could see there's a film when we're playing state, and there you can see me in the back when they're about to do a pledge of allegiance. Like everybody's starting to look at me because I told them like, yeah, bro, I'm not even gonna take it. I'm gonna say crisscross applesauce, no cap. And then they're like, if anybody does it, you're not gonna play. So I'm like, oh my god, bro, my state, like, oh my
No,
god.
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, man. So it's unbelievable, man. But now it's just you got to know how to play the game now. It's all a game.
It is.
Like if you just know how to play the game, and it's kind of sad to think about it, but you got to know how to play it now. But yeah, that was a crazy situation, man. That was unbelievable.
No, that was a timing, man. I can look back and laugh, but in the moment, I wasn't laughing. So
Laughing at yeah, bro. I already know. They tried to do the same thing to me. I remember
and
I sat down.
I was
Yeah, I
just about
sat
to.
down.
Yep.
During what did they say at the beginning of the day? What do they recite on the intercom? What is that called?
Did we do the Our Father? We did some type of
No,
like.
and then we did the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm tripping,
Yeah, yeah.
tripping right now. I sat down during it. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Got kicked out. They told me I couldn't come back until I had a board meeting because I sat down during the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm just like, bro, this is.
Gorman.
Yeah, then they try to take the angle that I was like disrespecting the military, and I had to explain like, yo, my grandparents fought in Nam, the other one fought World War II, the other one used to fix helicopters in the military. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then of course they hit you with we're a private school, we can do whatever we want. We could.
Yep.
All right, yeah, let me just shut up. Let me just shut up, finish my little career here, and keep it pushing.
Nah, and it's just unfortunate that they even put us in those kind of predicaments in the first place because your First Amendment should be respected. It's the number one amendment. It's literally
For a reason.
in the name. But Gorman is very much if it doesn't fit what we want, we can come down on you. Use
So
the
to kick
Bible.
rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, we can use the Bible, even though I'll briefly bring this up at my board meeting. I wrote in my like statement because you probably had to write one too.
Yeah.
I wrote that Jesus himself was considered a radical because he went against the powers that be in the establishment within Rome. And if you guys want to invoke the use of Christ in all these messages that you tell us, then actually walk it because Jesus himself was a messenger of love. And that's all I'm trying to do. But there has to be a conversation because right now this ain't love.
At all.
It's not like that. They did
What?
not.
I tell you, yeah. He for sure has to leave.
They were saying,
He's talking like that.
yeah,
Get him out of here. We need robots. We don't need free thinkers. We need robotic thinkers.
They said he knows too much. Get him out.
Get him out of here. Yeah, get this guy out of here.
So knowing kind of like, and especially as an athlete, right? Athletes are so visible, especially within our community. How important, is it for Black athletes to use their platforms to support the betterment of the Black community?
I mean, it's very important, man. I think everybody should be using their platform to spread love and knowledge at the end of the day.
Right.
Because a lot of Black people they think all they can do is be an athlete. Sports or rap. It's like choosing which lane you want to go to the league or you want the VVS diamond bust down chains, and it's like, bro, we could do so much more than that. Like, exactly. So if you have any type of platform, athlete or not, just spread knowledge. That's my advice.
Amen. Now, that was the most political part of it, but to get back to the football part, but I do really appreciate your insight, and you're 100% correct. Spread knowledge. That's knowledge, education. Like Malcolm X said, education is the passport to the future. But in your football career at Gorman, you went 58-2, which is a crazy winning percentage, around 97%. What do you attribute most of that success and that level of consistent dominance to?
I mean, so many things. I could go all the way back to the way my father raised me, and the way that I looked up to my older siblings, all the way to my teammates. Just everybody being in the same frequency. We didn't want to lose so bad. Like, we did not want to lose. Like, we just couldn't lose. I don't know what was going on in the air. Like, we just the whole team, I'm talking to everybody. Like, I don't care if you didn't play or not. Those people had as much an important role as the starting quarterback. I promise. Now, for real. I swear, bro, because I've been a part of teams where the people on the sideline aren't locked in, and the energy, and everybody's not on the same page, the same frequency. So, I think it was just everybody wanted to win. I don't know why. I don't even know how sometimes, because like I said, we weren't the biggest, fastest, strongest team out there. But we all wanted to win so bad that, that brought us to our success.
And look, I mean, it was a very talented group of individuals. Guys that are in the league right now, guys who enjoyed successful careers in college and within our class. Are you still close with guys like Bubba and Malik, and John and Austin and Yaj?
Oh yeah, we're close as ever still to this day. I mean, I feel like once you just go to war with people, like y'all are attached on a different level. Like, we could not talk for years, and then the moment we see each other and talk, it's like we haven't skipped a beat. Especially when you achieve something at a young age with your best friend. You're not playing with just random teammates like in college, where this guy's from here. It's like I grew up with these guys, and now we're achieving crazy amount of success. So I feel like till we're 70, we'll always be close.
Sure. Now, if I recall correctly, to speak of a teammate who was near and dear to both of our hearts, our good brother Rashad Gage, who tragically passed away this past July. You guys, I'm under the understanding, played football together in youth league before reuniting at Gorman. How close were you two, and how do you honor his memory?
So me and Rashad, we didn't play on the same team necessarily. I was gonna join Rashad's team when I was younger, because me and him played the same position. But as soon as I seen him play, I'm like, I'm not joining this team because I'm not gonna be able to take his spot because he's too nice. Real shit. He was too nice.
Rashad was nice, man.
Nice. He was too nice. I told my father, the junior Gators, the Gales, whatever it's called. I'm like, I don't like. Let's go up to Summerlin. I know they need some help up there. Like no cap. This team had Bubba, Malik, Farrell, Greg, Shot. I'm like, bro, this team's stacked, bro. They don't need my help. So I knew he was a beast as a young age, and then we got to high school. It's kind of in the same boat as me, to where they flipped him from running back to corner.
Yep. I remember that too.
So we were in the same cornerback room, and it's not easy flipping positions and then being the best at that new position now.
Right.
So yeah, I was playing corner, and Rashad was playing behind me, but he was a dog at corner. He just had a dog mentality. It could have been any. It could have been any of us starting at that position.
That secondary was a talented room, truly, and Shad was. If it wasn't for that
Beast.
injury, if it wasn't for that injury, I think he could have played college ball, and who knows where he could have gone. But I just think things would have been so much different.
Oh, for sure, 100%, man. He was a dog, man. Like I looked up to him even as a young kid. I'm like, the way this guy carries himself, the way he runs the ball. Even at high school, he was always kind of out the way, always smiling, always happy,
Yeah.
always wanting to work harder,
Mm-hmm.
always wanting to stay a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
after practice, before practice, always yoked up. Oh, this nigga, I'm like, he's a beast. This man's a beast. He has to play some position, but we're so stacked.
Right.
It's like, bro, there was times where I'm like, bro, I would want to get hurt on purpose. I'm like, bro, like, I want to come out the game. I already had scholarships.
Right.
I'm like, what? I didn't want to be the guy that, oh, yeah, I got seven. This is my 78 scholarship to Mississippi State Tech. I'm like, what's the point? I damn near already knew I wanted to go. Let's let somebody else get some scholarships,
Get that
man.
chance. Right.
And then yeah, the whole injury thing happened. That shit was devastating. I
Yeah.
can't even wrap my head around it. Just pure devastation.
Gosh, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but that's just where you know someone like him. He was in it for the love of the game always, and it
Oh,
translated. It showed.
oh my God. It was so even outside of football, this man's so talented. Like people have no idea. Like this man he could have done anything he wanted to do.
That's
Honestly.
yeah. That was truly a that one hurt.
Oh, for sure. To this day.
I remember where I was, and I remember before going into work, I probably cried for like a good hour or two, and just going back memory lane, all the moments.
Man, I'm looking at, how like on the iPhone they might have a random photo history, like a random photo might pop up on your front screen.
Yep.
But we had so many memories together, man. I can't even explain the amount of memories we had. But life's crazy.
No, truly. Long
Life
live,
is crazy.
long
No,
live
yeah,
Shaq.
for sure. He's here in spirit, man.
Always. Now, you mentioned the recruiting process. Now,
Hmm.
you were a four-star recruit, which is not at all easy to achieve. Now, you were ranked as high as 128th overall and 13th amongst corners in the nation. And you were offered scholarships from Arizona, Boise State, Colorado, Memphis, Michigan, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, UNLV, Utah, UTSA, Washington State, and I know you had interest from a ton of colleges. What attracted you the most about ASU, and what made it so that you wanted to commit there?
Our mom Perry, honestly, like in all honesty, bro, like I just knew if I could play with my older brother in college, like that's a dream. I don't even care if I played. If I could just go to the same college, that's a dream come true,
Right.
honestly. And I was so already tapped into ASU because I would go up there like almost every other weekend. After our games, I'm instantly going from the game. I'm hopping on a flight. I'm going to watch his game and then going to enjoy the after hours. Of the ASU campus. No, that was in high school, but no, I honestly just I love the coaches there, Coach Graham, Coach Ball, Coach TJ Rushing. I loved everybody up there. Even like when I was in high school, I'd go visit, and as soon as I would get up there, they treated me like family. So I didn't take many visits. That was one of the only visits I took, and I kind of just knew I just committed in the locker room. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come here. I'm like, oh, he's committed. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, and then like my sibling already laid the foundation.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? So I might as well just come in here and try to add on top of that a little bit.
for sure. I mean, and Armand just kept the dominance going. I remember watching him on TV, and I was like, he was doing that at Gorman. Like, I'm
Bro.
not shocked. I'm not surprised.
And he did it on his own in a sense.
Yeah,
Because I've always had him to look up to, because we're like an age and a half apart. I mean, a year and a half apart. So like just watching him go to all these camps, and working out and trainers and this and that. I'm like, all right, this is really what it takes, to go D1. Now it's if you have 100,000 followers and you just are on the Gorman roster, you're getting the Alabama scholarship.
yeah.
Back then, you would be lucky to get the Reno Scally.
Yeah, for UNR, shots.
Nah, real shit. You would be lucky to get the UNLV scholarship back then.
That's true.
Like his graduating class, they only had like 3 people go D1 football.
And it's crazy because that team was ranked.
They were ranked, and they took 2 L's. And not and only
ranked,
3
ranked teams.
Ranked, and only 3 of them signed on signing day to play D1 football.
That's so crazy.
And that just a lot of people on that team got played, honestly, because if they were playing in today's age, niggas would have NFL scholarships. Like,
yeah.
Now if you're now twos, if you're a second string, you're getting a scholarly just because you're on the team. I'm like, God damn, good game. But yeah, bro, it's a whole different game now.
For sure. Now you mentioned, Armand was the biggest influence. He eventually, though, he retires, unfortunately, because just too many injuries that just kind of stacked back on back on back. Did that have any influence on you while you were there to be like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Or
oh yeah, I was done. When he told me that, I said, God damn. Damn it. I was mentally checked out. Like I'm like, oh, he's not playing, he's not finna be over. I'm out here dolo. I don't even really like playing this shit. Like, so when he stopped playing, I'm like, bro, this isn't gonna last a long time here. I promise. Like, yeah. So yeah, bro, it took that was one of the main reasons. I'm not gonna blame it like, oh, because he stopped, I stopped, but like that was one of my goals. My goal checklist: play with Big Bro. And then once he told me like, yeah, bro, I can't do this no more. I got 100 injuries. I gotta have surgeries. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, and I didn't want to. No, you have to play because this shit is crazy on the body. And the mental is crazy. So I'm glad he's looking out for himself and not trying to think about well, Alex wanted to play with now. Bro, sometimes you gotta be selfish. So his decision for sure affected my decision. For
sure. And with that brought you back to the 702. They brought you to UNLV, a school that did offer you, and you were lucky that you were able to get your eligibility cleared right away. You didn't lose time, and you started out. You were playing really well. Started 7 games. You got 24 tackles, two of them for loss, and you were playing really well, bringing a different energy to that secondary. You suffered a shoulder injury, which caused you to use a medical red shirt. And when you were going through the recovery process, was that when you had the injury at the MRI, or was it? How was the timeline with that?
So I got hurt. Got my surgery. So yeah, I got hurt in the game, got my surgery, recovering, almost fully recovered, almost to the point where like, all right, I'm ready to throw pads back on, throw the helmet back on, and start playing again. So the doctor's like, all right, let's just get this last scan. to see if everything's healed on the inside. So I go to the MRI place. I don't know if you ever been in the machine. Things are lit whole. It's like it's almost like a casket feeling, like they're putting you in a casket.
I had to lay down in mine because I had for my niece.
And then they tell me to put my hand behind my head like this. I'm like, bro, I don't think this is. I'm like, bro, this ain't gonna fit.
Right.
And the dude's just telling me, like, kind of blowing me off, like, bro, I know what I'm doing. Boom, they press the button and put me in. Shoulder gets caught in the machine. You just ripping, just popping and shit. I'm like, so I'm in there screaming, bro, like, get me out of this machine. So the dude presses the button to get me out, and my shoulder gets caught again on the way out.
Oh,
nigga, exactly. So I'm in there throwing a fit, like, can't believe what y'all did to me. Can't believe this shit. I'm suing y'all. I'm suing everybody in here. Yeah, that's what I thought I was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So I go back to my coach, explain to them the situation. They like, oh shit. Let me know how it goes.
Right.
Trying to find attorneys. I'm telling them the situation. They like, we don't know because the medical imaging center works with doctors. So if you're trying to have a doctor speak on your behalf to sue the imaging center, which is their partner, that's going to be conflict. So I end up just never doing anything about it and kind of just taking it on the chin. Yeah, crazy.
It's messed up. Now, did you know that was going to be your last season playing, or was the goal to rehab and get back to?
Oh, I was done. I knew I was done. I just wanted I wanted a reason to be done with this. At this point, I'm at UNLV. We haven't won a game. I'm not even starting. You feel me? I'm not even lifting weights. I'm supposed to be. I'm like, bro, just get like, bro. I tell myself like, all right, the first surgery, I'm like, okay, I can bounce back from shoulder surgery or something. Second, same shoulder, even more twacked off. I'm like, yeah, I'm done, bro. I'm not trying to be throwing my kid up in the air like, my shoulder, like, bro. I'm done. I knew I could do more than just be a football player. Like that was never like, oh my God, if I stop playing football, I don't have a purpose. Like, I knew I had more purpose than just being a body on the field and backpedaling.
Right.
So, it was bittersweet because, you've been playing this game your whole life. And then for it to end, like, not how you would want it to end.
Yeah.
It was, kind of bitter. But at the end of the day, like, it's all about the mindset. I knew I could do more than, just be on the field.
For sure. And I mean, to that point, like thinking about life after sports, thinking about life besides just being on the field. Did you have a vision and a plan? Because I saw that you were a communications major, and now knowing that you work in finance, did you at that time when you were like, okay, football, it's been great, but now it's time to reroute, time to pivot. Did you know what your next plan was going to be?
I had no clue. Right. I couldn't even like wrap my head around having a 9-to-5 job, like checking in, clocking in. Like I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Right.
But all I knew is I love being around people and I love helping people. So if I can have some type of career or job or side hustle that has those two factors in it, I would be straight. And then I also looked at myself like, if this guy can do it, I could abuse it. For real. So if I'll always kind of just have that mindset, like, bro, like, if these guys are doing it, how hard can it really be? But it takes, swallowing your pride a little bit, realizing like, okay, you're not the jock on campus anymore playing football and thinking you can get special treatment. Like, no, you're starting from square one.
Yeah.
You're now at the bottom. And you're now at the point where you have to learn. You're going to have to ask questions. You're going to have to feel stupid. You're going to not get paid a lot. So it is what it is, bro. But, I knew I could do more.
For sure. Now, you had mentioned something previously about scholarship opportunities and kind of like the limelight that you get now if you are a player that is talented and highly regarded. And that led to the eventual creation of the NIL, which unfortunately came the year you graduated. So you
Perfect timing. Yeah, right after I left. Perfect.
so first off, what's your perspective on NIL? And do you think that your college career would have played out a lot different if you had gotten to play with having NIL opportunities available to your access?
I mean, I'm a big fan of NIL. Like I've any person in their right mind has to think like the amount of money that these college athletes are making these universities and they're not receiving even a small thin slice of it.
Yeah,
That's abuse.
yeah,
You can't do that. And it's been going on since what, a few years ago. So I'm all for it. I think these kids should be getting paid a lot of money, because essentially the football programs of these universities are covering over half of the school. So but these players aren't seeing anything. Like they can't even eat food. They can't pay rent. They can't pay phone bill. But then you expect them to go on a field, throw their body into people. We're making all this university money. They're not seeing any of it. So I'm a fan for it. What I'm not a fan of is how I didn't get none of it. So I'm a little hater, bro. I'm not gonna be. I'm a hater, bro. I'm a hater. I see these kids pulling up in SRTs and VVS diamonds, and I'll be scratching my head like, wow, that's crazy.
You're like, I'm so happy for you.
Happy, like, no, but genuinely, I am happy because these kids grind their butt off,
Right.
and it's not hard. People think this. I mean, it's not easy. People think this stuff is easy. It's not easy. The
No.
sacrifice and throwing your body into people and the mental aspect and being from the stadium from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. You got school, you got social. That's not easy at all. So I'm super for them getting paid. They should for sure get paid. I just wish it was when I was there, so I
Hey,
could ran up me a little bit.
hey,
But
I agree. Look, y'all brothers definitely deserve that because I
it
mean,
is everything happens for a reason, bro. Like I can't sit here and be pissed off about it. Like if God wanted me to have NIL, I would have had NIL. But God is obviously like, Alex, you didn't need it. You don't need it right now. You're gonna figure out another way to do something, and that's how I'm gonna bless you. So I don't sit here and like, oh my God, if only I would have. No, but I do think like, damn, I could have had me a nice little bag, and it for
yeah.
sure would have affected my college decision. I would have went to the school that paid me the most money.
Now that you're in the business side of the world. You're working in finance. You're carving out success for yourself. Long term, what are some of your biggest career goals?
My biggest career long-term goals would be to spread the knowledge about money and it's not a career, but honestly, get people more spiritually tapped into to what's going on.
Mm,
Because this world we live in now, it's crazy. There's so many distractions and there's so many ways to fall off. But like I would say, my human career goal is to try and get people back on that narrow path, which is where everybody should be. Everybody has the power to be on it.
right.
We're just so distracted with all these things going on in life. And then specific career goals to my career, I just want everybody to be educated on money. What is money? What can people do with money? How can you save your money? How can you invest your money? How could you plan your retirement? You know, so that's one of my, especially starting young.
Right.
Because I'm watching a video the other day. It said the average black family gives $0 to the next generation, and I'm just like that. That doesn't make any sense.
That change.
It has to change, and it's not a knowledge thing anymore. Because back then you could say, oh yeah, they weren't even letting my grandparents in the libraries. We had different. They had a whole different education. They had to go to black school. They went to white school. They learned nothing over it. Now we have these little ugly little things. Now we could use it. We could abuse. We could abuse, bro. Why
Yeah,
are we not abusing?
absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
be like, but we'd rather look up music videos. Let me stop. I gotta stop.
I was about to say, shoot,
No, no, let me stop.
I'm
Let me
with
stop.
you because you,
I
hey,
gotta stop. No, I gotta stop. I gotta chill, bro. I'm just saying though, like
you preaching to the choir.
in the grand scheme of things, man, like the blessing we have to go search how to invest. What is even a dollar? What does that mean?
Yep.
We have it. And
Yep.
it's more than just looking at it. It's like you got to take action. You can know it, but if you're not taking action on it, so like it's very important to me to spread that. Like, yo, this whole financial system, this is the breakdown of it, and
Right.
this is how you could take advantage of it. So let's do it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, man.
I will give a ringing endorsement. You know your stuff, truly. And I hope anybody who watches this, reach out to my brother Alex Perry. He knows his stuff. If you are looking to get a better insight on how to make your money work for you, how to plan and prepare better, and just the value of money, this your guy. So just gotta
Man,
smile.
appreciate it. Yeah, hit me up. Let me let me know. My door's open.
Hey,
Let me
exactly.
know.
Exactly. Now, we're getting to more of the end, but I really do appreciate everything
Mhm.
you've been saying. It's been great going down memory lane, and also just great hearing your wisdom and a lot of your very knowledgeable perspectives on different things. Do you see yourself with all the ties that you have to Vegas? Do you see yourself planting your feet and raising a family in Vegas?
That's a good question. I look at Vegas. I love Vegas. Like, there's no other place on the planet like Vegas. But it's a beast. It's a beast, man. It's a beast. You learn young, and that could either be a good thing or a bad thing. It's like you're open to the real world at such a young age out here.
Yeah.
It's like either that or you take your child somewhere else and kind of have a shield over him and kind of protect them a little bit. I don't know, man. I love Vegas, man. And then like I said, my parents have laid a great foundation for me. You know, I have a great network. You know, I love all my friends out here. Solely staying here and raising, I don't know. I have a house out here for sure. I'll for sure have a house out here.
Right.
But I'm thinking like I'll be trying to get out of here, bro. Like, I want to go to Hawaii, fam. Like honestly, that my eyes are set on Hawaii.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, so if I could, when I have a house in Hawaii and a house in Vegas and a house in California, who knows? I hope my kids don't have to be set to one location,
Right.
one little circle on the map.
Right.
You know, I hope they have the ability to travel the world and see whatever they want to see and but Vegas is home at the end of the day. I love it, but I don't know. It's so up in the air.
I feel that. I mean, we're
Mhm.
still we're we're not old. We're not young. We're in that.
Hey, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We are getting there for sure. So no, those are questions you gotta start asking yourself. Honestly.
100%. 100%.
Hmm.
Absolutely. But if you have sons, do you also want them to play football? Especially knowing with what your father, your older brother, Armand, and you yourself have gone through. Do
Oh
you
no, they're golfing. We're on the golf course.
let's go?
Yeah,
Michael Perry.
we're golfing. We're playing tennis.
Okay. Hey, I'll play tennis.
You feel me? We're in the chess club.
Okay, let's go.
You feel me? We're in AP finance schools. We're no. I
Okay.
mean, if he wants to, then yeah. I mean, I guess if because he could be a star at it, but like I said, bro, we've already been through it. I know what it can do to the mind and the body and the soul.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
So like, if it, in a perfect world, if it was my way, PGA Tour,
Okay.
PGA Tour.
Hey, look, we need more of us up there. So
You
I
feel
hope to
me?
see I hope to see a Perry at
PGA Tour.
you at the what's it called, the Masters
Masters,
for golf.
green jacket. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that green jacket is
I would
so
love to see
tough.
it. I would love to see that, bro. So it depends. Like it's so hard to speak hypothetical about a kid, but I'm gonna have him, play whatever sports you want to do. But I'm pushing him towards golf for sure, 1,000%. It's every time I turn it on, I'm like, this. If this guy's doing it, oh my god, just wait.
For sure, for sure. Now this will be my last question, and really do appreciate you taking the time. I really do appreciate this conversation, and I know people, especially people who went to school with us, are going to enjoy, what I'm saying, just going down memory lane and also just seeing what you've been up to and your future endeavors. Um, and it kind of goes back to the question about your career goals, but on a deeper level, because you mentioned, spiritually how important it is to have that connection and that, and that sort of, um, oh my gosh, but that sort of, geez, I'm over here lost at
Like
words.
just aspect.
Yeah, just that aspect, that perspective. Uh,
Hmm.
when it's all said and done, how do you want your legacy to be remembered?
Legacy wise, I mean, at the end of the day, I could care what anybody thinks about me. At the end of the day, like I could honestly give two shits. Can I cuss on here?
Speak your
All right,
mind. Speak your
I'm
mind.
sorry. I honestly don't care, but
Within reason,
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I'm going to cuss
that's
storm, but just as somebody who's learned from their mistakes, and as somebody who showed love tremendously, and as somebody who believes in God. Honestly, if it's all said and done, and somebody could say those three things about me, then I think I'm chilling. I think I'm good, man. Because like I was saying earlier, so many distractions, man. You gotta give tap back into the spirit at the end of the day, and if you're tapped into the spirit, everything else is cake.
Man. Amen. Well, that is a dropping $5 into your collection plate, Pastor Perry. That is a that's a perfect way to conclude things. But once again, Alex, I really do appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
coming on to the show. Your story, you've lived quite the life, and you come from quite the legendary family. So just further, always salute and respect and love to your family, and best of luck in all you do, because as someone who got to see, what I'm saying, you rise and see you achieve different things, it's great that you're still doing well, and I'm so happy that you're still able to keep yourself going.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you too, man. I looked up to you too, man. You're always, a leader, and you weren't scared to, speak your mind about certain topics. And
Thank
I've
you.
always admired that about you. And you always stayed solid.
I
You know,
appreciate that.
you always stayed solid. So I appreciate you for having me, man. I love chopping it up.
Oh,
It was a
amen.
good moment for us to, catch up a little bit in a better fashion.
Yeah,
So I appreciate it.
for sure, for sure. And next time I'm in Vegas, I'm hitting your line. We gotta really
Let me
catch up.
know. Let me know. Let's hit the golf course.
I'm down, yo.
Come on.
I'm down. Look, I'm
Come on.
trying to get my Tiger Woods on too.
Come on, spring's coming soon. It's
No,
some good weather outside.
I'm
I
with
know
it.
a couple places. Come on.
I'm with it. I'm with it, man. Well, tell the people where they can follow you and see your journey, because I know you got some big plans as well. I'm not going to spoil nothing, but where can they follow you?
Social media wise, I really just have Instagram. So at AP4PA, that's probably one of the most active apps that I'm on. But I mean, if you really want to keep up, just search me, and then some sites will pop up. Let me know. Honestly, I'm not a big internet presence guy, but usually my Instagram is probably one of the best ways, and then we contact from there. But yeah, got some things cooking up in the works. So yeah, stay tuned. It should be a good year, good following year too.
Amen. Amen. 2025, year of more prosperity and more success. So I wish you the best, my brother, truly. And I'm happy to support you and all that you're doing. Truly.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dylan.
Hey, much love. And you gonna laugh, but the way that I'm gonna end it, you gonna remember it's very familiar. But thank y'all for coming to Chilling with Dylan. More episodes on the way. Episode 10, stay tuned. But episode 9, my guest Alex Perry, thank you so much. And for everybody that's been watching, keep it chill.
Always keep it chill. Always.
Yes,
That's
sir.
key. Appreciate it, Dylan.
Hey, much love. Follow the page. Follow me at Quan_solo and follow Chilling with Dylan 1229. Peace and love. Blessings to all. AP, appreciate you, my brother. Much love to you always.
Yes, for sure. Always, brother. Yep. Be safe.
All right. Likewise. Oh my gosh. Why is. There we go. There we go.